Do you suffer from a lack of confidence or a self-limiting belief? Hi, my name is Dee Varengia, and in this video, I want to talk more about reaching down into yourself and pulling in that confidence. You see, now that you've identified what the issue is, I feel like right now our only responsibility is to focus on the solutions. First and foremost, it's important to shift the way that we think and what we believe. Start thinking about our belief and our patterns. Are these serving us? Or if they're not serving us, how can we better change them or suit them in order for them to help us in our current situation? Think about the belief of not having confidence, looking into the mirror or standing up on that stage. I know it doesn't matter what size the crowd is, a size of 15 people or a crowd of 15,000. Right before I step up on that stage, this is literally what goes through my mind. Oh my goodness, Dee, don't F up. Okay, I'm just being honest. And then I'm like, okay, sorry, God, I'm just playing, but for real, just, use me as a vessel. I need this to just, be a very pure and clear message. And then at that moment, in that same step, all of this is happening at the same time. In my mind, I'm also thinking to myself, everything that I just thought of that I was going to prepare, those weeks of notes that I've taken, all those seminars and personal development audios that I was listening to, soak in all of that positive energy into myself so that I could share it on that stage at that same moment, in that same breath, in that one step. I forget it all. I literally become clear. And that is scary. That moment is scary because what happens is you start thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, what did I prepare? What were we going to talk about? There are 15,000 people out there, Dee. What are you going to say? You can't just sing Amazing Grace. You aren't 7 years old anymore. You've got to really just be prepared. But in that moment, instead of falling into that fear, something else happens, and this is where confidence kicks in. You see, you tend to have confidence about something that you're prepared for. You tend to have confidence about something that you've done once or twice. You tend to have confidence about something that you see someone else doing. But Dee, what if I don't have access to all of that? What if it's just me? What if I've got to pull that confidence in from myself? This is how I did it. And this may or may not work for you, but I think it will. First thing that I did, I began reading. Not just listening to a personal development audio or a positive audio. I began reading books that were specifically written to help me and lead me towards my goals. I began shifting my circle of influence. You see, one statistic that many people may not know, I heard it even as growing up when I was in middle school, I heard this and I thought, well, if that's the case, Mom, you don't have to send me to public school. I was like, come on. So here's the statistic. It basically says that if your child goes to public school, that they spend more of their waking hours with their teachers, peers, or other influence as opposed to like you and your, family at home. So what does that say about their patterns, thoughts, beliefs, and their influences, their speaking patterns? What does that say about their habits? Everything, right? So I looked at things like that and I began thinking, well, Oprah's not going to be knocking on my door anytime soon. I'm just being honest, right? I was a broke Hooters waitress, busting my butt at university, trying to get by. I worked nights at a bar, just bartending, trying to just make ends meet. And I was frustrated. You know that feeling when you're just, I was just sick of being sick and tired. God, do you know what I mean? And so that feeling fueled me. And I remembered I looked into the mirror one day, and that point was that feeling, it just, everything that I did, it just sickened me, all of a sudden, just being okay and being complacent, it just, It boiled my blood, so much so that I was willing to do something different. And I realized, okay, D, it doesn't matter how hard I pray, Oprah's not coming to that door. So what am I going to do? And I began thinking, all right, I can put some of my tips aside and start buying books. I can start putting some money aside and start listening to personal development audios and start enriching not just my education, but my well-being, my thinking, my feeling. Because at the end of the day, if you're looking in the mirror, no one else is in the room. Nothing else is around. And you're not confident at what you see. Something has to change. So that's what I did. I realized that I started plugging in so much personal development into my thoughts because I realized just trying to learn and educate myself just for the sake of, oh, I'm only going to buy this to help me make money, or I'm only going to buy this to help me get XYZ, I realized it was very foolish. And here's why. Because I began reading, right? And as I read, I was, reading from all these different scholars. And they were articulating that one of the most foolish things that you could do is read for gain. Read because it's like breathing air. And that changed everything for me. I started craving personal development. I started wanting to learn just how to become a better person. You want to know how to snap into a state of confidence real quick? Start smiling at every single person you see. Every single person that makes eye contact with you, smile. And not just that like, hey, how you doing? Yeah. Not that type of smile, no. And I'm not talking about that like quick, like, hey, oh, okay, you didn't see it. Well, I smiled. I'm talking about that point blank gaze, that smile that comes from within, that smile that you can only smile because you're happy inside. And your goal is for every single person that you look at to smile back at you. You see, I've played that game. In the beginning, when I started playing that game and people didn't smile back at me, I was like, well, what's wrong with them? It was a bad day, right? And then time started going on and I realized actually it had nothing to do with them. It had to do with me. So all of a sudden, it became a game. I bet you I can get them to smile. I bet you I can get them to smile. I bet you I can get them to smile. I was smiling everywhere. I was like, hurry up, tickle me. Like I was at it. But the reason was I realized it was making me feel good. And if you feel good at the end of the day, well, that's all that matters. So I hope that helps you, my friend. I hope that you've watched this video and you think to yourself, you know what? Today I'm going to smile. Bye for now.